From the Mobil 1 German Grand Prix, a warm congratulations to two of our podium finishers. So David Coulthard's second for West McLaren Mercedes and winning this year, taking second place now in the World Championship, only 6 points behind Michael Schumacher. BMW Williams, Juan Pablo Montoya. Juan, it looked like a perfect day for you.
Yeah, I think it went really well. All weekend went really well. You know, from Friday. You know, Ralph was ahead of me on Friday, but we made a different tire choice, and he seemed to pay for the rest of the weekend. You know, we got a lot more work done yesterday. And today, just the car was fantastic all day. Got a great start. And just went from there. You know, I don't know what happened to Ralph in the start. I don't know if he touched with somebody, but you know, from then I just push, and I was amazed I couldn't pull away in the first few laps. But then, you know, I kept doing the same pace, and they seemed to drop away. So I managed to, you know, get a bit more out of the car and make a fair gap. Everything perfect mechanically with the car? I had a bit of an issue about lap 15 or something where, you know, lost a bit of top speed. But it wasn't a big issue, just stay like that all day. And even like that, we had enough pace to pull away. Well, Jarno's not with us at the moment. Obviously, it was a very, very hot day. What were the conditions like from your point of view? For me, it wasn't that bad. Physically, I was pretty good all day. You know, for me, it was a completely different race than from Jarno. For me, it was just keeping the pace all day long, trying not to make any mistakes, where Jarno had pressure all day. Well, you ran a 3-stop strategy. The guys behind on a 2-stopper. Are you surprised now the way that turned out? Yes and no. I think from our point of view, 3 was the best way to go. And, you know, I ended up like a minute behind the second guy, in front of the second guy. So, my work. David, great job today. 10th on the grid. First of all, did you see anything of that first corner accident?
Well, I saw it on the big screen that was being replayed when we were behind the safety car. From what I could see there, it looked like Kimi was on the outside and there was some sort of cars moving around, jockeying for position. They probably didn't see each other and it caused an incident. Well, you got up to 6 as a result of that, and then a very, very long second stint which enabled you to get in front of Alonso and then really be in touch with Trulli and Michael. Take us on from there. Yeah, obviously, as you say, a long middle stint, and I was struggling a little bit at the beginning of the stint because my car, when I pitted, was really well balanced, and I thought I was in for a really strong afternoon. After the pit stop, I picked up quite a lot of understeer, and it took a good 10 laps or so for that to dial out, and that was the same on the second set, the third set of tyres. So that made it quite difficult to carry the pace behind other cars that I could carry when I was alone. Obviously, I was trying to size Michael up to overtake when he had the manoeuvre on Jarno, and then I managed to pass him as well. I overcooked a little bit on the brakes, but then managed to get him at the next corner. Where were you quicker than Michael in the later stages of the race? It was surprising, actually, because it was inconsistent around the track. I tend to be much better on the brakes into the hairpin and much better into turn 8, which is in front of the Mercedes-Benz grandstand. He was very good into the complex, and that made it very difficult to be close to him as I started the lap to try and set him up for the hairpin. So I thought it was going to take a long time to get in a position to pass him. It looked as if you more or less did the same manoeuvre as Michael on Jarno, running wide out of the hairpin there. Was that a deliberate policy to try and do the same thing? No, I just felt confident that I could brake just a bit shy of the 100-yard board, and as it happens, because I followed him a little bit for the slipstream, I think I picked up some dirt on the tyres, so I overshot slightly, and then obviously he came along and held his line, which kind of didn't really let me get back onto the circuit, but he was on the dirty tyres when it into turn 8, and as I say, ran wide and had better traction. Had a lot of trouble this weekend in the build-up to the race, and also it appears quite a lot of pressure from outside sources. Describe your feelings now after a race like that. Well, obviously delighted to be back in the podium. It's been since Melbourne. It's obviously been a difficult season for me with having difficulty getting the car in the right position for qualifying. My race pace and every other session pace has been good, and obviously that's the key for me having future success. Juan Pablo, the championship's looking pretty close now. You're in a pretty clear second place, and Michael's certainly in touch. Yeah, I think, you know, things have come a long way now from where we were before Monaco, and just, you know, still 4 races to go. Anything can happen, but we're definitely in a better position than we were at the beginning of the year, and I think it's very important just to keep scoring points. You know, even if you can't win, you gotta try to be there second, you know, all the races, because you never know when somebody's gonna go off. Look at Michael today. He looked like a very strong second, and, you know, 5 laps to go, he's only 7th. So, you know, anything can go wrong for anybody.
Ja, en Jarno Trulli, die miste u. Daarvan weten we dat hij is al 2 dagen lang was hij ziek. Hij heeft 2 nachten niet geslapen. Hij kwam inderdaad, zoals wij al veronderstelden, letterlijk als een dweil uit zijn auto. Het had geen 5 ronden langer moeten duren. Hij heeft de persconferentie hier voor de zeg maar visuele media heeft hij laten lopen. Maar later, dat is ongeveer een half uur tot 3 kwartier later, voor de schrijvende pers heeft hij nog wel in de persconferentie aangezet.